Hey there, folks. Recon Trooper here, back with another podcast, not with Franchise Fanatic or Echo Killshot. This time I'm with a new person. You probably know him, but he's new in terms of podcasting with Quick Brick Games.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
So
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
yeah, no problem. It's nice to have somebody new to talk to, especially since most people don't seem to message me back. But yeah, before we get into it, I'm sure you guys know the drill. If you even watch Franchise and I's podcasts, just to drop a like, subscribe, and if you are subscribed to me but haven't gotten any notifications for a while, then simply unsubscribe and resubscribe, because my channel is not set to for kids anymore. It is set to not for kids. So you should be able to get...
That'll destroy your channel, man.
Yeah, well, that's what it was... Well, Franchise was subscribed apparently, but for some reason my channel was listed as for kids, even though I had it set so that I choose what I want for each video, but I guess choosing that automatically makes my channel for kids, so I just had to set it to not for kids, period, and then Franchise unsubscribed and resubscribed, and now he gets notifications, so...
Nice.
Yeah, so now I can actually at least get a view from him from my videos. So, if nobody else, except me, when I get tired of seeing such low numbers, and I just watch when I'm not signed in, and just say another view for myself. But,
there you go.
But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, and if you enjoy my version of this, I don't know if Quick Brick is doing a version of his own, but if you enjoy my version, enjoy the Call of Duty Ghosts, Halo Reach, and Black Ops 2 gameplay in the background. And so, my first topic is something that is going to be hitting us very soon here, Sonic 3. So, first of all, have you seen the Sonic movies and Knuckles show?
I have not yet, dude, but I'm planning on watching it because I recently bought them on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
At least I bought the first movie, and then I bought the Knuckles show. I need to get the second movie still, but I haven't watched them yet, but I'm planning on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I won't spoil anything then. I mean, I know Franchise doesn't like being spoiled. He says it a good number of times whenever we're talking about something that I know of that he doesn't.
Does the third movie come out next week?
In 2 weeks, actually, on the 20th.
Okay, right before Christmas. Okay.
Yeah, same day as Mufasa, apparently. So.
Oh yeah, forgot that was coming out.
But I guess since I'm not spoiling anything, all I can say is that I hope you enjoy the first movie and the Knuckles show. The Knuckles show, don't listen to the internet. It's good.
So is the Knuckles show? I guess that's after the second movie, so I should watch the first two first, and then the Knuckles show.
Yeah, and okay. The Knuckles show is obviously after the second one, before the third one, because at least in the trailers so far, there's little bits that are in the show that carry over into the third one that we haven't seen yet. So, yeah,
gotcha.
Definitely watch Knuckles before the third one, even if there's not a whole lot of callbacks to the show necessarily. It's still good to be just in case.
Sure. The third movie is pretty exciting for me because I grew up on Sonic Adventure 2, and it from what I've seen in the third movie, it looks like it's based heavily on that.
Yeah, well, apparently it's going to be based on that, as well as the Shadow game a little bit. And
right, yeah, I played that one a little bit too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and apparently Jeff Fowler actually worked on the Shadow game a lot back then. So this is kind of this is kind of I don't I don't know how to put it, but being the one to work on the Shadow game and then being the one to bring him to the big screen, it's definitely, he obviously feels a lot of pride, not to get political, but about it, but definitely
Sure.
feels a sense of, you know, satisfaction with being the one to bring him to the screen. And
Yeah, sure, sure.
I mean,
I'm
who?
assuming you're a big fan of the games and everything.
Well, not really the games per se. I've only played. Let's see. Right here, I've got Sonic Advance 2 for the Game Boy Advance, and then I think it was either last month or the month before, I just decided to download the Sonic Adventure. I think it was Sonic Adventure 2 on my Xbox, just to see, what it's like to play as Shadow, because you can play as him on that one.
Yeah, dude, that's like the greatest Sonic game in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I think a better one would be if they made a Lego Sonic.
Like, yeah, well, they had it in Lego Dimensions, right?
Yeah, but that was from what Franchise Fanatic told me. That's just Sonic and nobody else. As opposed to, when you think of a Lego game, you think of the roster of characters you can play as. But Lego Dimensions is, a Toys to Life sort of thing, and
Sure.
you
Yeah.
have to, you can feel free to play as any of the characters that are on the game as long as you can buy them first, with real
Sure.
money,
Yeah.
not studs.
Yeah. Yeah, it came out during the Toys to Life craze like 10 years ago.
But,
Yep.
but
Good
I
times.
think a Lego Sonic game based on the movies and the Knuckles show would be kind of interesting, because not only play as the characters from those pieces of cinematic media of the franchise, but just because I've seen Lego Sonic sets in Walmart and stuff, and I see there's one where you have Shadow and his motorcycle, and I look at that and I think that would be kind of cool to do in a Lego game.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, man, now that it's going to be a trilogy, like, it's like perfect
and
for a
not
Lego game,
not to mention, also adding in the abilities that Lego games are famous for having with characters, and have a Shadow like teleport, to get to certain areas, to get mini kits or switches or whatever. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, but I'm certainly, but yeah, back to if I'm a fan of the games, not really, but I definitely, after watching the movies and the Knuckles show, I'm fair to say I'm at least a fan of those things, because they're,
Gotcha.
they're good. They're not, at least especially the Knuckles show, it's not what the internet makes it out to be, because everybody knows what the internet's all about these days. It's nothing positive. So
Well, I haven't heard the internet, like the general opinion on the Knuckles show. Do people not like it or something?
well, they say Knuckles isn't as much in it as he should be, or that kind of jibber jabber. But he's actually in it quite a bit. I mean, I don't quite know how CGI affects the price of a movie per se, because apparently CGI requires money, a lot of money, and the more you have, then the more expensive it is, or something. I don't quite understand
Yeah,
how that works.
you gotta, yeah, I guess they gotta pay, the CGI artist and everything to create all that. So I
Well,
guess
also all
makes
the
sense.
probably the electricity that goes into the computers and everything. But
Sure.
but yeah, like, it's not supposed to, Knuckles isn't in it as much as people would like, but like, again, it's a show, not a game, he's not going to be in every single darn scene in the whole thing, or even every shot of the whole thing. You know,
Right.
there's gonna be times where it's just the humans, or you know, like it's him with humans or whatever. And there's one human in the movies that returns in this as well. He's not a guest character. I mean, there is one that does return as a guest character too, but this particular human is kind of a main character as well. And it's, you know, people complain that he gets more screen time than Knuckles gets, but you know, it's, if you actually watch the first one and then Knuckles, I mean, watch the second one too if you can, but you know, it's actually very similar to the first movie, just Knuckles instead of Sonic, basically.
Okay, gotcha.
And
you'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and it's longer, obviously, because it's 6 episodes, and that's approximately 170 minutes, but that's also with credits at the end. And many people probably skip credits. So
sure. Is it like 30-minute episodes or something?
Well, it kind of,
they're not like hour episodes.
I think the shortest one that I can remember anyway is approximately 25 minutes, and then the longest one is maybe 10 more minutes than that. So, but basically, okay. I'd say approximately 25 to 35 minutes per episode.
Gotcha.
So, not like a 40-minute episode, like a main TV show kind of thing. It's more,
sure, yeah.
You know, like it's longer than a cartoon would be, but it's shorter than a, you know, like a live action drama TV show would be. So,
yeah.
But gotcha. Yeah, it's definitely worth the watch. And you know, if you ever get the second one, it definitely has callbacks to the second one too. So,
okay, yeah, I'll definitely watch the first 2 movies before I go into Knuckles.
But cool. Yeah, so on to the next topic. How about Star Wars? Have you ever seen the Star Wars movies before?
I've never seen a Star Wars movie. Just kidding.
Yeah, I know.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't either. Last I heard of anything Star related was Disney Star Wars. You know.
Is that how you I gotta ask, is that how you discovered my channel? Is that through like Lego Star Wars?
It might have been. I mean, I know I was at the time when Lego Star Wars was just a pipe dream in our heads. I was kind of
I feel like you're like an OG, like you were like in the comments like really early on.
I might have been.
Like 2019, 2020.
Yeah, I might have been. I know before I even came on to YouTube, well, I shouldn't say that, but yeah, before I even started talking to anybody from YouTube, like you franchise, you know, even some others that I forgotten about, I've been, you know, I was just, commenting on things that I'd like to see, or just how the news has been so dry that you wish you lived on Tatooine instead of waiting for any news. And
yeah, dude, I made like a video or 2 just about how there was no news. It's funny.
And there were some other channels I did follow for a while, but I think were just, I kind of learned that there are some people that just like to get views and clicks, and some of them were those kinds of people, so I stopped following them.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of channels that have just kind of disappeared. Like once the game came out, they just dropped off the face of the earth. So
yeah, well, I don't know.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't. There's one. I forget. There was one guy. I forgot his channel name, but he was really like posting that stuff like if not every day, every other day.
Yeah.
It was kind
there was a bunch of guys.
The same old thing usually. just different wording.
Yeah.
But,
I wonder if that's going to happen again whenever
yeah.
TT Games announces their next game. If there's going to be a bunch of channels that just come up out of nowhere, and start covering it. We'll see.
But but about Star Wars, first of all, have you seen the sequel trilogy? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I'm kind of like it's just okay to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I
fine.
grew up on the prequels. That's my favorite by far.
Yeah, well, I grew up on Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, so.
Oh, same here, man. Same here.
So
That's my favorite trilogy of all time.
Even though, I mean, he hasn't elaborated on this yet because he has to kind of review the movies. He hasn't watched them for a while, apparently, but franchise doesn't like the Raimi trilogy for some reason. I mean, he doesn't, it's the usual, he doesn't hate them, but they're not his favorite sort of thing.
Dude, that's craziness, man.
But, I mean, he also doesn't like the new Godzilla movie as much as Skull Island, so, I'm not holding it against him. I mean, we all have things we like and don't like.
Wait, so. Which got, the Warner Brothers one or the Godzilla -1?
Warner Brothers. I haven't seen -1. The MonsterVerse, I'll say. The MonsterVerse one.
Okay. Dude, I actually just watched -1 a week ago, on Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I loved it, man. You gotta see it.
Yeah, I've seen
Highly
it.
Recommend.
I've seen it in stores recently. It was kind of surprising to see it all of a sudden, because for the longest time it seemed like it wasn't gonna come on physical media, at least officially. But
yeah,
I might.
Are you a big physical media guy? Because I definitely am.
Yeah, of course I am. I mean, I could care less about all the streaming services. And
yeah, dude, you got to pay monthly for eternity. It sucks.
Well, not only that, but you have to pay in some cases just to watch the darn thing, right? Disney Plus, and I don't do that.
I like owning it. I like owning it on physical, and you get to keep it forever. It's better picture quality.
It's why Paramount Plus is better than Disney Plus, because they actually released Knuckles on Blu-ray and DVD, as opposed to Disney Plus, where I have seen a handful of things, but certainly not everything.
Yeah, they've been doing actually just this week.
The only thing from Disney Plus that I bought because I really actually was wanting to see it was Obi-Wan. But I have nothing from Marvel officially. I got I have some unofficial copies of Marvel stuff, and I don't
like the bootlegs.
Yeah, and I don't have anything other than Obi-Wan in terms of Star Wars. So I don't have, I don't have Andor. I don't have Ahsoka.
Well, yeah, Disney made them super expensive.
Yeah,
they're $50 or more.
And some of the ones that I've seen on physical also are 4K, not really just Blu-ray. Yep. And I could care less about 4K as well. I just want to watch it. I don't care of course I don't want poor quality 360 p on YouTube, but I definitely don't care about 4K. As long as I can watch it clearly.
I'm all about the 4K. That's funny.
Oh, well,
I've been collecting it since they came out in 2016, 2017.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, no crime. Just I don't care about 4K. We don't have a 4K player anyway, so I'm not gonna.
Gotcha.
Spend another $100 just to do that, or should I say $300? I can't keep track anymore of these darn prices, but
yeah, depends on what model you get and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, but Blu-ray is just fine with me. We started, everybody of course started off with DVD and then went to Blu-ray, and now it's 4K, but Blu-ray is, I think, where my parents and I are going to stick too. At least unless 4K becomes the only option after a while, but hopefully not.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I hope physical media just stays around, period, because
yeah, well,
a lot of the stores have stopped carrying it, which sucks.
yeah, well, I've seen. I doubt many people, on the internet, want physical media. Well, on the internet or period, want physical media to die. I'm sure a lot of people just enjoy collecting the things, and
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's what we had before streaming. So come on, just gonna suddenly say, "Oh, finally got my streaming." Later, physical media.
Right.
Just throw
Yeah,
it. Throw
I think
it.
the convenience of streaming is just
Yeah.
what makes it so popular.
Yeah. Well, it's also all the exclusive stuff that you can only watch on it.
Sure.
Which people really want to see that kind of those movies or shows, so they give their wallets to the streamers so they can watch the thing. But physical media, you don't have commercials either, so
Yep, that's right.
bonus. But
Yeah.
yeah, I back to Star Wars. I'm kind of like you. I find the sequel trilogy to be pretty okay. I mean, I don't really have a favorite anymore per se. I mean, I would say that Episode 3 is my favorite in terms of the action, even if sometimes the action maybe is a little oversaturated because, especially in the prequel trilogy, you see when guys are lightsaber fighting, they're doing all these whirly dudes with their sabers,
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
yeah, and sometimes franchise even calls it like it's as if they're like doing lassos with their lightsabers. But at the same time, I mean, it's it's cool. It's not like you compare the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin to the fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in Episode 4, and I mean, it's no contest. Which is better.
Yeah, it's like everyone like started sucking at doing lightsaber battles like after the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Even I was hoping the sequels would do lightsaber battles like that, or at least close to it, but I feel like they downgraded them.
They weren't as bad though. I mean,
yeah,
like you do see I admit they don't do all these tricks or anything with their sabers. Really, it's kind of like the Episode 5 and 6 lightsaber fight styles, sort of just slightly amplified a bit, but not like evolved to match the prequels. But I don't mind. I mean.
Oh, I will say in the sequel trilogy, the lightsabers look the coolest. Like,
yeah,
I think it's because they used like actual lit up sticks when they did it.
Yeah, that's one thing I notice in the prequels. Everybody except the CGI characters doesn't have glow on them when their sabers are right next to their face.
Yeah,
like Yoda has green glow on him. Grievous has sort of green and blue on him. But you see when Obi-Wan and Anakin are in that saber lock just before they push each other away, and it's like, where's the glow? Shouldn't there be like a glow on their forehead or something?
Yeah.
Or when Anakin and Dooku are in that lock in the beginning, and like, shouldn't there be red and blue glows on them? I mean, they did it in the Episode 2. Granted, we're doing it in the dark, so they kind of had to have glow on them. But still.
Yeah.
Kind of just...
I guess whoever was doing the CGI forgot to add the glow.
It's just kind of weird seeing lightsabers that don't glow in the prequels, but it's like they changed them in the well, the sequels, but also in the Clone Wars, where they actually were. There's even a couple of episodes. I don't know if you've seen the Clone Wars, but there's a couple of episodes I remember that they actually use their lightsabers in the dark to see where they're going.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen I've seen a few episodes, but
Yeah.
I haven't watched a lot of the show.
So, but yeah, definitely the lightsabers are probably the best in the sequels because they actually do what they're supposed to do besides slash. You know, they actually glow. They light up certain areas like the cave in Rise of Skywalker. You know, and
Yep, yep.
you know, even the blaster shots, I think, sort of light up a bit when they fire, as opposed to the prequels, where I don't think they did that much, if at all, not even on the CG characters.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, and
Yeah. I
definitely
think it's just
not in the
because they're
originals.
yeah. I mean, there wasn't actually anything glowing on them. It was just
Yeah.
all computer. Whereas
Yeah.
in the sequels, they actually used like glow sticks when they
Yeah.
had the lightsabers. So makes
Yeah.
sense.
So, but yeah, I think, but yeah, I don't have a favorite per se though, and I kind of, I wouldn't say I'm not a fan anymore of Star Wars, but I've definitely lost, some interest in it because I don't have Disney Plus to watch all that exclusive stuff, and also maybe I'm I'm not a kid anymore, so after a while, age kind of takes your interest away.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely feel that too. Like I don't get excited like when the new shows come out or
I
anything.
mean, if it's something I'm looking forward to, like Sonic 3, then yeah, I'm going to be excited about it. But after I've seen it, and after I get it on Blu-ray 3 months later and watch it a good number of times before finally putting a pause on it, then I kind of like lose interest in it for a while too. So,
Sure.
you
Yeah.
know, so yeah, and that kind of brings me to my next topic, Middle Earth. So, what do you know about Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies, or even just
All right.
the series in period, even the books?
So I actually watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy for the first time this year.
Oh
Like
yeah,
probably
extended.
about six months ago. Yeah, yeah, extended.
Yeah,
Yeah, I loved it, man. I loved it. I haven't seen Hobbit at all yet. I need to watch it, but
yeah. Well,
yeah, I loved it.
I don't know if franchise is watching this or not, but I have to say Lord of the Rings is better than Hobbit just because it's a whole lot grander. I mean, Hobbit is good for its visuals and everything, but Lord of the Rings is like the real deal, like it's
Yeah,
it's
I've
an
heard that from
actual
like everybody.
war.
I've heard that from everybody that the Lord of the Rings is better than Hobbit.
And
But I mean, I haven't seen Hobbit yet.
I'm not dissing Hobbit at all. I mean, I like it. A few weeks ago I did a marathon with the Middle Earth films and went in chronological order, and I mean, it's kind of odd going from Hobbit to Lord of the Rings because once you start watching the Lord of the Rings, you kind of forget all about the Hobbit stuff that you just watched, even though it does all kind of connect.
Sure.
But because like the
Isn't
Hobbit,
there like a?
huh?
Well, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
you first.
I was
What?
gonna say, isn't there like a new movie coming out, like the Gollum movie or something?
Well, there's an animated movie called War of the Rohirrim or something.
Oh, okay.
But
I heard there was like a new live action movie, like
yeah,
that they were working.
they're apparently doing a Hunt for Gollum movie, and they want
Yeah, that's it.
they want Viggo Mortensen to come back as Aragorn because apparently he plays a role in that story.
They're gonna
does.
de-age him or something.
I guess, I don't know, but
CGI.
yeah, the like the Hobbit actually does lead straight into Fellowship, like the last movie. At the end, it does lead right into Fellowship, somewhat differently, but it, once you watch them back to back, or one after the other anyway, it you don't really care about the slight differences that they did in The Hobbit. It still feels like it's a continuation. So,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
But yeah, I would say though Lord of the Rings is better just because of the scale. Because none of the Hobbit movies are 4 hours long. Not the extended editions. And Return of the King.
How long are the extended editions for the Hobbit?
Well, I think the first two are kind of the usual 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours. I don't entirely remember, but the third one extended is 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh, that's
extended.
Not that long.
That's extended. So it's basically an hour and a half on one disc and then the last hour on the other disc. And again, the last bit has credits added to it. So you take the credits away, which is probably a good 20 minutes, and it's only 40 minutes left of a movie you watch on the second disc.
Yeah, those credits, I remember that for Lord of the Rings extended editions. Like they're like 20, 30 minutes long. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think I actually tried to watch Return of the King's extended edition credits a long time ago. I tried to watch them all the way to the end, and they just kept going and going, and I just got tired of watching just constantly. It's like Lego studs in today's Lego games. They just don't stop getting collected. They just number just keeps going up and up until you just decide, heck with it, I'm not going to try getting to the max anymore. I'm just going to do my thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that with the credits. I just got tired, so I just stopped the movie right there and just put the disc away. I'm not watching any more credits.
Yeah, I don't know why they're so long. I guess there's a lot of people that worked on the movie.
Yeah, well, especially the extended, because there's more scenes that had to be worked on and everything, and not to mention actors that are only in those editions.
Sure, yeah.
And so, but, I mean, granted, seeing an actor's name doesn't take that long for the credits to show the actor's name and then move on to the next one, but I guess there's
they made it scroll too slow.
Well, I don't even know if it's the scrolling or if it's just, because there's a lot of CGI that goes into these things too, especially when it comes down to the armies and everything that they have to not only implement, but then they also have to program the soldiers to fight realistically, And
yeah, all the fight moves and everything, the choreography.
Yeah, not to mention all the orc splatter from boulders and stuff crushing them.
Right. Have you played any of the Middle Earth games? Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War?
Not those ones. I've played Battle for Middle-earth 2 for 360, and it's kind of... I don't know if you've played Age of Empires, where you kind of build your own villages and armies and stuff, and then...
Yeah, I have, yep.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. And then I've also, of course, played Lego Lord of the Rings. Not The Hobbit, because Battle of the Five Armies was not released like it was promised, apparently, so... I'm not going to play 2/3 of the trilogy and quit there.
Yeah, everyone talks about that when they talk about Lego The Hobbit.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a dumb thing. If they did that with Lego Lord of the Rings and only implemented Fellowship and Two Towers and then promised Return of the King at a later date as a DLC and then just said no, and then you're stuck just playing, does Frodo ever destroy the ring then in the Lego game if you can't play it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess Warner Brothers just really wanted a Lego game out,
and so people never
before the third movie.
People never got to see Lego Smaug get shot by a black arrow. So
Yep.
It's kind of
Too
dumb.
bad.
Kind of dumb. So I'm not gonna get Lego Hobbit as much as it may be good still of a game. I'm not gonna bother with it. But there's also Lord of the Rings Conquest I've played. It's kind of like a Battlefront version of a Lord of the Rings game. And
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I remember that. That's pretty old school, isn't it?
yeah,
Like,
and then there's a bunch of games I don't remember that were for just the like the original Xbox. I think one was called The Third Age, where you're playing as a bunch of characters that are not in the movies, but you end up still being able to use some of the characters from the movies. Like, you still fight the Balrog in Moria, and you get to use Gandalf along with some of these other characters. It's kind of like
okay.
it's like a turn-based sort of game. So you have everybody take their turn with attacks, and then you choose what attack you want to do next, kind of thing. Until either all your guys die or the enemy does.
Gotcha.
So
Interesting.
But yeah, I haven't played the Shadow games though. I know franchises said they're pretty good, especially the later Shadow of War one.
Yeah, dude, they're awesome. They play like the Batman Arkham games. I don't know if you played those, but
Well, I played the
they're
first
like a
one,
middle.
but would you say it's more like Assassin's Creed? Because I've played Valhalla and Black Flag.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mix of between Assassin's Creed and Batman Arkham, I'd say.
Okay.
Like the open world stuff is more like Assassin's Creed, I guess, but like the combat is very Batman Arkham. It's like straight up ripped off, which is a good thing in my opinion because I
Yeah.
love the Batman
I mean,
combat.
if it's good, then by all means rip it off somebody so that your game can be good.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Yeah, it's got really like brutal combat too. Like you're like slashing orcs' heads off
yeah.
constantly. It's
Well, I
crazy.
saw gameplay of. I think this was back when franchise was reviewing the. It was either he was reviewing the Return of the King extended edition, or he was talking about the Rings of Power series. That he wasn't sure whether he would watch it or not, and he was using. I saw gameplay of, I think it was Shadow of Mordor, where he was playing this guy that looked like he had kind of a broken Narsil on his back, and
Yep.
he can sort of turn into a ring wraith as sort of, everything goes white, including him, and he glows, and then he sort of drop stabs orcs.
Yeah, that's like
But
I guess
that's
it's sort of like detective vision almost in the Arkham games. Like you can see enemies and stuff. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've played them.
But that's about as far as I've seen of that so far. But maybe one day I'll get it. I mean, of course I do have to watch my storage. I mean, I did get a hard drive recently for my birthday, but I still have to watch how much storage space I use up, because games
Are you someone who just like keeps everything installed? Like you don't delete anything? Or...
well, I delete when absolutely well, I shouldn't say delete. I uninstall when I absolutely need to. Like, for the longest time before I got my hard drive, I was constantly doing that with Modern Warfare and other games when I wanted to play them, but I needed the space to download them first. And Modern Warfare...
Call of Duty is like notoriously huge.
Yeah, well... But, yeah, it hasn't been... I only do it when absolutely necessary, though, and the last game I got that was big was Outer Worlds. Like the last new game, the last new game for me that I got, it was Outer Worlds, and that thing took a good while to download. So,
are you Xbox guy or PlayStation?
Xbox. I mean,
okay, sick.
I think I've played PlayStation in the past, but I haven't, like, it's never been my thing per se.
Sure.
It's only been played when I was at friends' houses or whatever for like a visit, and that's about it. So,
Sure.
but yeah, Xbox is what I grew up on since 2001, I guess, and that's when
you still got your original Xbox.
Yeah, it was working for a time still, but I think it was in the summertime I discovered it was dead finally. So, which wasn't very fun for me because I wanted to play the original. Well, I shouldn't say original. The Spider-Man 1 movie game that is only on the original.
I love all those games, man. Love all those games.
Yeah.
The Raimi Spider-Man games. Do you miss? Dude, I miss movie games, man. Like,
yeah,
it sucks that like none of the modern superhero movies get games.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it depends on what movie we're talking about, but
Sure.
Like the Spider-Man ones, of course, I sort of grew up on, and Spider-Man 1, I would say, is kind of my favorite, just because you can unlock Green Goblin and play as him. Although it's not Norman that you play as, it's Harry, apparently.
Yeah, it's Harry. Yeah.
But still, it's cool that you can do that, you're not stuck to just Spider-Man, like in Spider-Man 2, and, well, you can sort of play New Goblin in Spider-Man 3, but you don't do, can't do, citizen quests or anything. It's strictly, random crime that you come across.
Yeah, the first game is unique because it was before they got to the open world.
I mean, Spider-Man 2, I was kind of hoping would be similar to the first one in that you could play as maybe Doc Ock once you beat the thing, but then I discovered, sadly, no, you're stuck with Spider-Man the whole time, even afterwards. Yeah. And it's just, thank goodness for Lego Marvel, because you can play as Doc Ock in open world New York.
Yeah.
You just can't climb walls with them.
Yeah. Those games are classic.
But yeah, I do like the level. Well, not all the levels, but I like the ones, kind of the early ones, where all you do is fight thugs, and those ones were my favorite in Spider-Man 1, because there's the Skulls.
What do you think of the stealth mission in Oscorp? There's two major stealth levels.
It was okay, I guess. I mean, I know when the alarm goes off, it becomes annoying trying to evade all these security robots. Yeah, and then when they spot you, you kind of get hit by all these missiles coming at you, and then I think security guards also start shooting at you when they detect you too. So.
Yeah, I always found it fun trying to see if I could beat it, without getting detected. And it's pretty tough.
Yeah. But I liked fighting the Skulls gang in the first levels, and also Shocker's thugs.
Yeah.
Those were always my favorite levels, just when fighting those guys, because the Skulls gang guys, not just their lines, but their death. Well, I shouldn't say death sounds, but their defeated sounds. It sounds like they broke a leg or something, and they're like, ah,
Dude, dude, all their quotes are burned into my memory, dude.
Yeah.
All their
circus in town. Hey, you.
What are you doing up here? Whatever he said.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
I forget all their lines, but those ones I remember for sure. And
here comes the spider.
Yeah, and the Shocker thugs guys always have this raspy sound in their voice. Don't mess with the best. Whatever. Yeah. But I wish they could at least bring that backwards compatible onto the store. But
Oh, I know, dude.
That's Activision
I mean,
property, though, and they definitely wouldn't allow that. Well, not just that, but
yeah, I
probably
don't know how
Sony
all
would
that
throw a
works.
fit too.
Yeah, because like Activision made the game, but then they had to license it from Marvel, so I don't know. I mean, Microsoft owns Activision now, so
Yeah, well,
I think that would help maybe.
Activision is just Activision is not good these days. That's all I'm gonna say
Well,
about them.
all they do now is Call of Duty.
Well, all they do now is let cheaters run rampant and ban players that are actually playing fairly.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Well, they used to have like a really good.
taking mods away from players that just want to have fun with older games. Can't forget that one.
Yeah. I mean, they just used to have such a, good variety of games. You know, you had the Spider-Man games, you had Tony Hawk, you had
Oh
Call of
yeah.
Duty, you had Guitar Hero. Now there's like nothing except Call of Duty. It's crazy.
Yeah. Actually, I remember Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, and you could play as Django Fett on it. And even
Did you play the new Tony Hawk they came out with like a couple
Oh
years ago?
no, I haven't played Tony Hawk since that game.
That
But
you need to play the remaster. It was good. It was like one of the rare times they created something that wasn't Call of Duty.
well, well, maybe someday.
Yeah.
But I liked Django Fett because he had his pistol move he could do, and I remember I made
Really?
I made
I never
it.
played that.
Yeah, he like pulls his blaster pistol out, and when you're grinding, he shoots behind him, with it. And I even made some maps a while ago on that game, back in the day, where I just had a constant circle of a grind thing, and then I would just stay grinding on that and let him shoot his blaster constantly until I got tired of hearing it. But it was
That's
definitely cool for sure. I think he also had I think there was also a move where he could use his jetpack. Like you go into the air off a ramp, and then you do the move, and he like uses his jetpack to go a little higher or something before putting his skateboard back under his feet and landing one way or another.
Mm. Yeah, one of the old Tony Hawk games had Spider-Man in it too. It might have been Pro Skater 2, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, they had cool characters back then.
Yeah, it was it was always fun to wipe out as Tony Hawk characters, though, right? Just try,
Right.
just try to land, and you end up like skateboard just goes backwards, and you go face planting into the cement.
Yeah.
And then getting up like nothing happened, except you still have a wound on your elbow or whatever.
Yeah. Characters are invincible, man.
Yeah. Just don't try it at home, kids. You certainly aren't getting up if you do it. But
Yeah, a lot of the stunts in those games are
yeah,
completely impossible.
but yeah, but yeah, I haven't played too many Middle Earth games though. Going back to that thing, yeah, I haven't played too
Sure.
many of those, and if they make a Lego Middle Earth game where it's actually all 6 movies, including Battle of the Five Armies, then I might consider getting it. But
Yeah, I think that's what they'll do if they ever do
yeah,
another one.
they'd need permission first, because I know the Tolkien estate is very sensitive about that stuff being licensed out. Because
Well, they did it twice before, so
yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, I know I kind of can understand, because like what Tolkien made in the books is it's priceless stuff, basically. Like there's no remaking it in film or anything, and if you do try to do it in film, there's things you cut out or change because either it just doesn't work in a film as opposed to a book, or I don't know, maybe some things just aren't as relevant in a movie as in the book, or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. But anyway, yeah, so my last topic, and then if you thought of one while we've been talking all this time, Pirates of the Caribbean. So, have you seen those 5 films?
So I haven't seen all 5. I've seen the first one all the way, and then I've seen bits and pieces of the other ones. So I need to watch through them all at some point.
Yeah.
And of course, I've played the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean game too.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely worth the watch. I mean, you might have.
What do you think of the newest one? I've heard the newest one isn't very good.
Yeah, well, people hear things on the internet all the time, and it's not usually true. So, but the newest one isn't that bad, really. I mean, if you actually, I mean, some things can maybe be a bit confusing at first because it seems like some things they either redid just to make the movie make sense, and kind of like ignored certain lore or changed some of it or whatever, but it actually all fits together still if you just think about it. It's kind of like the sequel trilogy, I guess. If Franchise was here telling you about it, you know, he'd say that the sequels require you to think more about how and why certain things happen the way they do. And it's kind of like that with the 5th one. It's, you know, you just kind of have to think it. I mean, some things they have no explanation for. You just have to use your imagination. But otherwise, it's not a bad movie, really. It's just it's like on Stranger Tides, really. It's just a continuation of the franchise. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it may not be a direct continuation. Like the 4th one, I would say, is kind of a direct continuation of the 3rd one because, you know, the ending hints at what the 4th one is about, whereas the ending of the 4th one, you know, there's things that carry over into the 5th one, but they're not, you know, like the 4th one doesn't really set up the 5th one.
Sure.
So,
do you ever think there's going to be another one with Johnny Depp in it, or do you think he's
well,
he's done?
there's been news apparently recently that Disney is now wanting Johnny Depp to return, and you know, I know so many people would want that, even I do, because, you know, like,
he's the star.
Yeah, forget calling the franchise Pirates of the Caribbean. It's really Jack Sparrow and the Curse of the Black Pearl, or Jack Sparrow and Dead Man's Chest, or whatever, you know. Like, it's like if you took Indiana Jones. Well, you took Harrison Ford out of Pirates. Took Harrison Ford out of Pirates and put him in Indiana Jones. No, I'm twisting my words around.
Yeah, I get what you mean. If you put like Johnny Depp and Indiana Jones,
yeah,
or vice versa.
Yeah, you take Indiana Jones, take Harrison Ford out of Indiana Jones, and still call the franchise Indiana Jones. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you know, it's, or you take I don't know. I can't really say if you take a certain character out of Star Wars, it's still Star Wars, because it's Star Wars.
It's such a big franchise.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you take Anakin out of Star Wars, then it wouldn't really.
Well, Anakin.
He's kind of like the whole point.
Yeah.
But he's played by multiple actors, so I guess it's a little different.
But then again, you know, he's only in the movies and the prequels and, of course, the originals as Darth Vader. But then there's games like Knights of the Old Republic that have absolutely no reference to Anakin at all. And so
yeah, that's true.
Those aren't Star Wars, I guess, if Anakin's not in them. You know.
Scratch one covenant.
That's true. That's true.
You know, if Anakin's not in them, those aren't Star Wars games or anything. They just have lightsabers, but that doesn't make it Star Wars because, you know.
Right.
No, it's all Star Wars. If it's got lightsabers, it's Star Wars. Even Solo had a brief lightsaber in it, and it's Star Wars because of it. So,
yeah, gotta have the lightsabers.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
Cool.
but yeah, definitely I would recommend all the other ones and the fifth, including the fifth one, and I would really like to see Depp return at least just one more time. You know, it could be his, you know, Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny movie, you know, his last outing, if it needs to be. Just, you know, send him off, you know, in a good way, obviously, and, you know, maybe show him passing the torch on to somebody else that is, you know, that will be the kind of the one to carry the franchise going forward or something.
Sure.
You know.
Speaking of Indiana Jones, though, are you gonna get the new game that just came out recently?
Well, I don't know quite yet. I mean, is it for Xbox One?
I don't think so.
Well,
Are you on Xbox One?
Yeah, that's my latest one. I have to be absolutely desperate to get the next one. That's kind like Lego Star Wars was why I got a 1 in the first place. So otherwise, I would still be on the 360.
Were you on 360?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're I guess what you would call a late adopter of the new consoles.
Well, I'm just kind of, you know, I'm just not desperate like some people, you know, because
Sure.
people want a new console because of the new stuff that comes with it, including the graphics and stuff. But I just, you know, I don't want. All I would be doing with the new one is taking up space because I have no games that I really care for right now that I want for it. If there was
Sure.
if there was a Lego Middle Earth game or a Lego Sonic game, or better yet, both for just the Series X, then I'd have to finally surrender to the.
So you'll probably wait until like, you know, whenever the next console comes out, then you'll get like a Series X, probably.
Well, maybe if they don't come out with a game sooner that I'm desperate for. But
Sure.
I mean,
Well, this generation, I mean, like Xbox One and PS4, you know, they're still being supported quite a bit. So
yeah. Well,
you don't really need to upgrade too much. I mean, every now and then, like Indiana Jones, I think is exclusive
well,
to the.
I mean, obviously, there's some things like I think I don't know if I'm not getting this game, but I don't think Star Wars Outlaws is for the one, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
No.
so, you know, like, it kind of started off where the games were for both things, and now they are obviously moving more towards just being for Series X. So, yeah, so basically, yeah, like, I just have to wait until if there's ever going to be a game that I'm desperate for, really. Because I'm just...
What would that be? Like the next TT Lego game, or?
Well, it could be Lego Sonic, Lego Middle Earth, or it could be, I don't know, maybe some... Like, there's not really a whole lot of non-Lego games I can think of. I mean, maybe very uncertainly, but maybe Dead Island 3, if they release that for Series X only, I might consider. But I'm not like crazy for Call of Duty. Especially these days when Black Ops 6 is, you know, apparently online only the whole time.
Yeah,
And
that is unfortunate.
And also, I mean, I wouldn't play online anyway, like multiplayer, but Activision doesn't want to fix their cheating problem, and like I've seen so many videos, and it certainly isn't all of them, but I've seen many where like they're clearly in the footage they're showing a cheater, like just coming around a corner that there's no way they could possibly know there was somebody right there hiding in the corner when they come through that door, and they just turn around and bang the guy to death.
Sure.
It's just, like, so yeah, like I wouldn't support Call of Duty at all these days if I had to, even if
What
it was.
what's the latest Call of Duty that you have?
Oh, that would be Modern Warfare 2019.
Okay.
It's
That's
got.
actually not
I'm like
not
franchise. I'm more into bots than players.
Okay.
Granted, in Black Ops 2, I have had to play online because I've wanted certain weapons to have gold camos to them. Because I can use camos against bots as long as I have them.
Sure.
And
Does it not count? Does it not count when you're, grinding for camos? It doesn't count with bots.
no, no. I
Oh,
think
I didn't know that.
I think when you're actually playing local play, like 4-player split screen local play with bots, I think everything except gold and diamond are unlocked for you.
Interesting.
But
Huh.
I play the system link because you can have, I think I think 2 extra bots in the thing, because local play you could have up to 9 bots total, and in System Link you can have up to 11.
Gotcha.
And so I just play with slightly more bots, but
You ever played the? Oh, go ahead.
Huh?
I was gonna say, did you ever play the zombies mode?
Oh yeah, I've played zombies. I mean, I'm not I'm not
That's my
entirely
favorite mode.
yeah, I'm not entirely a fan per se of survival modes, because in the end you have to die to win.
Yeah.
Just let
Well,
the zombie
in the new
kill you in the
games,
first wave and you'd be done instantly. So
yeah. Well, in the new games, like, in Black Ops 6, it just came out, and I think Cold War was maybe the first one to do it.
yeah.
But you can exfil, so like at any time you can exit the map and survive on a helicopter. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to die.
Well, what? Yeah. Well, if you've ever played, well, if you're on PlayStation, I guess you wouldn't have played it. But if you play the Halo Master Chief Collection, they have ODST and Halo Reach firefight modes, which are basically survival modes, but you can actually customize them so that they have an ending to them. So you can choose to have like 3 sets of enemies, which is basically 5 waves per set. And after the final wave, you basically are done, and the announcer just basically says game over while you're still standing. And that's what I've been playing. That's what I play in terms of survival modes the most, because I can not only actually win, but I actually can also change options to have, like, infinite ammo, or if I want my damage resistance to be a whole lot higher than normal, so I'm not dying so easily, and
Sure.
other stuff. And it's, I mean, I know it's supposed to be challenging, not, you're trying not to die, but sometimes you die still very easily just trying not to die. So
Yep.
I prefer at least having a kind of a wave of enemies sort of all trying to work together to take me down. instead of just having one little grunt shoot me with a fuel rod gun and I'd go flying across the map. So
Right. Gotcha.
Or of course, there's hunters. They're kind of these big guys that you have to shoot in the back most of the time to kill, and they have these massive shields that they try to whack you with, and they send you flying just as much as you know, a rocket, and it's really, and they can kill you in one hit usually too, and it's really annoying. So
Wow.
whereas if I have high damage resistance, they can hit me and I can sort of take the blow, you know.
Sure.
So, but yeah, but you know, I will say though, I don't mind zombies mode in Black Ops 2. Like I've tried I mostly play on Nuketown Zombies because it's just kind of
it's a classic.
interesting. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting playing, you know, a map that people love so much in zombies mode. But it's just really annoying that the zombies are, you know, like, I mean, they're supernatural to begin with, but like these guys, they move slowly on the ground towards you, but if you're high up, all of a sudden they have like Spider-Man reflexes jumping up to get you. And it's just like,
Well,
it's like that's not fair. I had to spend money just to open the doors so I could go up the stairs and come out into the over on the thing above the door there, and all the zombies have to do is just jump up there.
They gotta make it so you're never safe, you know.
Yeah, but that's the point of the zombies getting harder and harder, isn't it? Is that when they can take more damage, then there's more of them, then even just camping isn't gonna do you any good. They don't have to jump up to get you. They just have to surround you, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it gets pretty hectic in the later rounds, that's for sure.
Yeah. But but anyway, yeah, and I'd like to see, actually, it would be kind of interesting if they made like a sort of a zombie game that was Call of Duty style, you know, and it was like open world like in the Dead Island games, but yeah, because I have to say Dead Island 2 especially, the gunplay is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've played that game, but it's really bad. Like, you're trying to ADS with a rifle, and even when you lower the intensity of how much you turn, like the sensitivity, you're still like, I don't know, it's horrible ADSing. And then when you're aiming at a guy's head, you know, it either hits him in the chest or it goes past his head, or sometimes it goes into his head, but he's got enough health to survive one shot. You have to take another 3 shots to get him before you have 2 other guys coming at you from the you know, your right, and then you're trying to shoot, and I don't know what it is, but when I get surrounded, my accuracy overall just gets bad. Because I'm trying to shoot the zombies, but I'm missing every shot because I'm more focused on how close they're getting as opposed to trying to aim properly. And the game doesn't have the best aim to begin with.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't played Dead Island before.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. It's just there's things about it that you wish they did better. Even though, like, it's obviously not meant to be a gun game, but there are guns in it, and the way they executed them are pretty, you know, you really think they could have taken some cues from Call of Duty just to make them a little better, not so sloppy.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty, they've got the gunplay, like, mastered.
Yeah.
That's probably why it's so popular.
Even Dying Light has better gunplay in it. And I mean, in Dying Light, zombies aren't actually as hard to kill, because in Dead Island they have health bars, and there's Apex guys too that have, bigger health bars, but in Dying Light, the zombies don't have health bars. I mean, there are some Apex guys, but pretty much all of them die very quickly with guns. And, it's usually one shot to the head, too, and either their head, most of the time their head kind of explodes when you shoot them. Sometimes it stays on, but most of the time it explodes. But it's, but the point is that Dying Light, I think, got gunplay down better than Dead Island. And even it isn't just a gun game, it's a melee weapon game, that's the whole point of these zombie games, is to get up close and personal with the zombies, usually.
Right.
And, obviously Call of Duty is different, because if you get up close to a zombie, he just has to hit you twice and you die.
Right.
Even in the first wave.
Right. Until you get Juggernog.
Yeah. Well, and then even then, once you get hit, I think that Juggernog only kind of amplifies your damage resistance by 10, so you only have to get hit 10 times by 10 zombies surrounding you, and then you're down on the ground anyway.
Yeah, you're done for. Yeah.
And the quick revive is horrible too, because you can only do that 3 times. And that's assuming you can even get to the darn dispenser again once you've got all that army of dead between it and you. So,
right.
And they don't die so quickly anymore once you're in the later waves. You shoot their heads off and they're still coming at you and swiping at you before they finally die.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets hectic.
But yeah, so. But anyway, I think unless you've got something that came to mind, I think that'll be probably it for us.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered a lot of different topics, a lot of variety here.
Yeah, we did have some that popped up, like Indiana Jones, and
talked about physical media a little bit.
Yeah, and Xbox generations and stuff.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
So again, if you guys enjoyed this, if you even watched it or listened to it, whatever, please subscribe to both Quick Brick Games and myself. I'll put a link for his channel in my description. If he makes a version of his own, then I don't know if he will put mine in his description or not, but whatever. I've only got 22 subscribers, so it's not like I'm a big deal on YouTube. So
not a problem. Yeah, I mean, if I decide to post it, I'll definitely put you in there.
Yeah. So
I can send a link out too. I can promote this to some people get in there.
So, but yeah, and if you are subscribed but haven't gotten any notifications, please unsubscribe and resubscribe so that hopefully that can be fixed. And because I don't know how many people actually get notifications from me ever since I discovered this, with help from Franchise, of course, because I was asking him, why he, if he even was getting notifications in the first place, and if he was subscribed, and that's when he discovered that the bell thing apparently was grayed out or something. So because my thing,
there's all sorts of weird stuff with YouTube.
Yeah, well, this was because my thing was for children. My channel was for children, even though my videos were not. So
ridiculous.
But anyway, that's gonna. Any closing remarks, Quick Brick, before we end it?
I don't think so. Appreciate you having me on. It was a good time talking about all these different topics.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to do another one in the future, and I've got one coming up. I got another one, I should say, with franchise coming up sometime after Christmas. Because, you know, Sonic 3 will... Hopefully he'll have seen it by then, and I know I will, because that's kind of my... That's going to be a Christmas present to a few people of my family. And so...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to see it, well, technically before Christmas, but meant as a Christmas present anyway. So...
Gotcha. Cool.
But, yeah, so... Alright, so... Until the next time, later, folks.
See ya.